Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the War on Dad Bods podcast. Today we've got a very special guest. We've got Tim Fox. Tim Fox is a performing motivational strongman speaker. So he'll do these events where he does these insane feats of strength that are really cool, and then he talks, and then people listen, and he helps people find their inner strength. He's also been a sheriff's deputy for 25 years. He's still working in law enforcement. He's got three children. He's only 46. He's a grandfather. His youngest kid is 19 and out of the house. And I'm going to ask him about that freedom and that lifestyle. Tim, how you doing? Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, it's great to be here. Doing great, doing great.
Tim, how did you get into motivational speaking, strongman stuff? How'd you start doing it?
Yes, I grew up, I was a huge pro wrestling fan, and that's kind of been my entrance into physical culture. So I loved, WrestleMania one time was around, 1985. So, that's about the time I became a real hardcore wrestling fan. And that kind of shaped my physical culture. Later on, I lifted weights all through my teenage years, but I met Dennis Rogers in 2007, and he became my coach, and he's the greatest, performing strongman of all time. And
Wow.
he shows you that size doesn't matter because he's probably about 5'9", 168 pounds. So you don't have to be a huge guy. And age doesn't matter. Muscle size doesn't matter. It's all about attitude. So a lot of it is grip related. So tearing cards, tearing phone books, bending horseshoes, bending frying pans, breaking baseball bats, that kind of thing. But what you do is you use the feats to get someone's attention. And then once you have their attention is when you deliver a powerful message that is uplifting to them. So you use the feet
Yeah.
and then you get their attention and then you deliver something powerful.
I love that sequencing. It's smart. It accepts where humans are and it meets them right there, you know.
Right.
Can you give us when you first met him and you started to develop your grip strength, what kind of stuff did you do?
Oh man, that's a great question. So I was already training grip. I've trained since I was 12 years old, and then I got into grip probably when I was a teenager, and I just always was fascinated with grip strength. But with Dennis, a lot of it is specific for the feet. So just because you're good at horseshoe bending doesn't mean you're going to be good at card tearing. So you have to practice every feat, and every feat is neurological. Your hands have to do two different things. So, like, weightlifting, the gravity takes the weight to the ground. Like if you're doing a barbell curl, the gravity takes it to the ground. However, with old time strongman, it is multi-angular force. So it's multi-directional force. You're ripping cards in opposite direction. You're bending a horseshoe in the opposite direction. So gravity doesn't matter as much. You can take somebody who's really good at lifting weights. They might not be good at old time strongman, but with practice, they will get better. So I always say, I'm not really that great of a bowler, but if I went bowling 3 times a week, every week for a couple hours, I would finally make strikes because neurologically, my brain would teach my body what to do. So, whatever we practice, we get better at.
Yeah, so your brain is connecting with those very specific patterns and angles, and it's downloading and it's learning, it's resting and it's doing it again, and you're getting
Right.
strong.
Right.
So learning that, how have you taken sort of that skill of learning how to get stronger at these smaller hand things? How is that translated into your regular weightlifting? How have you used those principles? Have you?
Oh yeah, definitely. So it's all about pushing forward and going after new goals and just hanging in there, longevity. I will train for the rest of my life. I'm 46. I started training when I was probably about 12 years old, and I started in the basement at my house with my mom counting my reps. So I was probably I was 12 years old, and my mom was my biggest cheerleader, and she's in heaven now. So she passed away a couple years ago, and I had a rowing machine, and I had some old concrete weights that my grandfather bought me at a flea market. And my mom, I actually would take like Flintstone vitamins. This is how nerdy this is. I would take Flintstone vitamins and drink a glass of milk, and my mom would count my reps with barbell curls and the rowing machine. So I started at ground zero. When I entered high school, I probably weighed like 147. And when I ended high school, I think I weighed 214. So I gained quite a bit of size in high school. huge pro wrestling fan during that time and looked up to all the pro wrestlers, so I knew that I had to eat a lot of protein and that I had to do resistance training. So I still remember the first time I picked up a dumbbell. It was my uncle's dumbbell. And I actually looked both ways to see if any adults were watching me. And I reached down and grabbed the dumbbell just to see if I could pick it up because I knew that Hulk Hogan and Mr. T lifted dumbbells. So, it was kind of like, man, this is like my secret. Like I know this dumbbell can make me strong. And it got me excited as a kid, and I'm still a big kid, man. I'm still a big kid. So I get excited over different things I have coming up. I actually have a show coming up at a trunk or treat at my sheriff's office, and I've hired a bubble artist, Anastasia, and she is coming from Atlanta, about 4 hours away from where I'm at in Tennessee, but she was born in Ukraine.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm so excited about watching her show, even though it's all about bubbles, and I believe she's the best bubble magician in the world,
Yeah.
and it's just captivating. So you learn a lot by hanging out with other entertainers, and even though what we do is not magic, even Dennis Rogers told us to hang out with magicians and study them because they are the best at getting up in front of a crowd and presenting. You know, we won't say tricks for what I do because it's a feat,
Yeah.
so a feat of strength, that's not a trick, but there is a technique. However, magicians are the best at what they call patter, and that's their verbal judo that they use to
Yeah.
kind of suck you in. So, you have to make a connection with people, you have to make an emotional connection, and at the same time, personal stories do that. But you don't want your personal stories to be super long, because if you have a 10-minute personal story, people are just going to zone out. Like you look at kids on TikTok and they just keep scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. You have to catch them immediately, and you give them a short story, but with a point. And Les Brown says, never tell a story without making a point, and never make a point without telling a story. But the story has to be only 2 or 3 minutes, because people will not, invest in a long story. They'll just get bored. So you got to make it
And,
impactful, you know.
I want to hear a little bit about your workout routine and more about you lost 60 pounds. How long ago
Right.
was it?
Man, it was a couple years ago. So it was around Christmas time. I realized that
Well, can
I
you give
got,
me just the breakdown of like, because these are
yeah,
listening and they're always trying to aim for that. So what was the diet, the workout, the weekly
right,
routine,
right, right.
whatever?
So I weigh 240 now, and I'm 6 foot tall. So I'm a big guy, but I got up to 305 pounds. And I kind of like would say, well, I do farmer's walk and bench press and heavy squats. So I need the extra size. But honestly, I was really fat for my weight, weighing 305. And it took me at Christmas time. I went on vacation, and, and I saw myself and I was like, man, I had the double chin really bad. And,
There's
and
always that moment. There's always that one moment.
yeah, that was really the one moment. Is I partied at Christmas time, before New Year's, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was just like, wow, I'm too big right now. So my face was really red and bloated, and I was eating a lot of protein, which I always do. Like, so I always eat eggs and ground beef and everything that's good for testosterone. But I was also eating pizza and spaghetti and a Snickers ice cream bar and just whatever I wanted. So I've been blessed with a fast metabolism, but because I was overeating to get strong, I got up to 305 pounds. So I hired a coach, and his name is John Anderson. He's very easy to find on social media. John Anderson, and it's John, just Jon, so not John. But he's done a little bit of everything. So he's a bodybuilder. He was also a pro wrestler. So it always goes back to pro wrestling for me. But he's competed in strongman, bodybuilding. I mean, he's done just a little bit of everything. So I actually hired him, and when you pay attention. So I paid him $3,000, and and you're committed when you do that. So it was probably maybe 4 or 5 months, I'd say, but I lost probably 60 pounds. And I don't think John will mind me saying this, because it doesn't hurt his coaching business, because you pay him to be your coach, and he encourages you through WhatsApp and whatnot, and he'll have conversations with you on WhatsApp. But the way his was designed is low carb, which I'm not always a fan of that, because I do believe that we need our potassium and different things that we can get from fruits and potatoes and whatnot. However, I can't argue with this. It worked. It
Yeah.
was very low carb. It was really high protein, eating protein frequently, and plenty of vegetables and plenty of fiber, actually, through chia
Mhm.
seeds and other things of that nature. Drink a lot of water, of course, but he created a tremendous calorie deficit by doing not only cutting out carbs, which creates the calorie deficit. So there's only two ways to create a calorie deficit: through limited food or through exercise. And he did it through both ways. So it's a low carb, almost no carb. And you get used to it after about 2 weeks. So you go into that level, but then his training is what they call deep water training. And and that just means it's going to be hell, but it's high volume, it's a lot of work. And I actually really enjoy it. So when I first saw his training on paper, it looked like a 3 hour workout, and he's asking you to do it in an hour. So you are just rolling. I mean, you are taking very short breaks, and it's probably 3 hours worth of work in about an hour. And you'll be drenched in sweat, and you don't really have any carbs, and the weight will just drop off of you. You just make sure you sleep 8 hours, make sure you drink a lot of water, and you're getting more than enough protein to build muscle. But it's really amazing. I mean, it's a very, very simple program, but not easy. The simplicity is through the calorie deficit, through a tremendous amount of volume, 5 days a week, and then cutting out the carbs creates that calorie deficit. So you just have a tremendous calorie deficit. And besides that, I sat in the sauna, but I lost about 60 pounds, and it came off really effortlessly. I work as a sheriff's deputy, and my duty belt just started dropping off of me. My pants were just dropping off. So, people are like, oh man, I struggle with the scale. I kind of argue with the scale a little bit. Well, you can't argue with the mirror, like when you see the mirror, and you can't argue with your pants going down. So my pants just kept just shrinking, and my waist was shrinking, and my pants were getting bigger. Of course, they're staying the same. I'm just shrinking, but it was from that tremendous calorie deficit. So everybody's looking for an easy way to do it. But I'll be honest with you, I do believe in more work. Another guy that I really love is Bobby Maximus, and he says there's no three easy payments of $9.99. It just doesn't work that way. And CT Fletcher always talked about 8 minute abs. He was like, bull crap. There's no such thing as 8 minute abs. Like we need, we need work. It's like, everybody's afraid of two words that are put together called hard work. They hate it. They rebel against it. They can't stand it. But if you do hard work and a lot of volume with a very short rest, and you cut your calories, but you still get a tremendous amount of protein through things that will increase your testosterone, like oysters, grass-fed ground beef, whole eggs. Don't throw out the yolk.
Yeah.
I eat plenty of pomegranates, avocado, like everything I eat. I eat dark chocolate, which is not on John's, program, but now I eat a lot of dark chocolate. Anything that I find out that will increase my testosterone, like garlic. So I make a whole pound of ground beef and I put garlic in there with spaghetti sauce, and it's absolutely delicious. It tastes like lasagna, and it will increase your testosterone, and it's probably like 100 grams of protein. And now there's new studies that came out that said we can digest 100 grams of protein at a sitting. We used to believe that we could only do about 30 or 40 grams. However, now you can eat a bunch of eggs at one time. You could eat twice a day and eat like a ton of eggs, and then take a break, and then eat a whole pound of grass-fed beef, and that will probably get your protein in for the day. And you don't have to carry a shaker bottle. You don't have to do this and that. You don't have to eat every 3 hours. That's bull crap. So as long as you just have an abundance of protein, even if you get it just 2 or 3 times a day, you really don't have to eat 6 times a day. I was a slave to that for years, and I was a big fan of Bill Phillips' Body for Life,
Yeah.
and it was small meals every 3 hours. Well, that's not sustainable for most people. It's okay and it's great when you're dialed in, but if you're busy, like if you're a sheriff's deputy,
Yeah.
you can't eat every 3 hours. You're just not going to be able to do it. Now, you could have a handful of almonds and an apple, and that's a good little meal to get you through to the next time. But the frequency, you don't really need. You could have 3 good meals of protein per day, as long as that you get 1 gram per pound of body weight.
Yeah.
You're going to grow muscle. You're going to grow muscle. And you just try to keep yourself in a calorie deficit, and then just work real hard. Everybody's afraid of working real hard. I try to walk 10,000 steps a day, and that helps put me in a calorie deficit. I love sitting in a sauna. So in the last 2 years, following two guys have changed my life. So that's John Anderson, who I hired as a coach, and also Bobby Maximus. I can't help but give him some credit. And his Rob McDonald is his name. He fought in the UFC. He was an Ultimate Fighter, and I just love his content. I could watch Bobby Maximus all day. Like, he's a Canadian guy, super intelligent, but he believes in hard work. So all these people who run away from hard work, that just doesn't work for Bobby. It doesn't work for John. You look at the people who are really doing it, like, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He gets up at 4 in the morning and he works out for probably 2 hours at 4 in the morning before he goes to a movie set. You have to have that dedication. You have to actually outwork people, and people rebel against that kind of language. They're like, no, man, you're just going to grind yourself into the ground. Like, you don't have to beat yourself up. No, sometimes you do need to go ahead and train hard. So it's
And your mind to be strong.
right, right. I enjoy it. I just listen to my favorite music. I drink a bunch of coffee before I work out, so I'm all jacked up on caffeine, and I just try to have a good time, man. It's like I still love training. I'm still a little kid at heart, and I'll always be a kid, man. I'm a grown man. I'm a grandpa, but man, I'm a kid too. So I still get excited over training.
Well, you're talking to these kids and you're talking to them, usually young people, about tapping into their inner strength.
Right.
Have you ever seen like, you reveal this inner strength? Are you ever surprised at like what they do after, what they say after, any of kind of those results?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you look at just this is an old example, but you look at a mother that lifts a car off of her child. A small woman can lift a car off of her child. So the strength is there. The strength is there inside all of us. We just need a need. Like, we need the need right now to have that strength. But we have the same nervous system. We all have the same nervous system. And I sound so crazy when I talk this way sometimes, but it is an absolute miracle just to move your hand, just to have the neurological ability to move your hand is freaking amazing. It is actually a miracle. So we all have the same nervous system, so we can all tap into that strength. And the my recipe for strength is, it rhymes. It's actually prayer and self-care. So you have to have some self-care, because you can't pour from an empty cup, and there's no tag team that's any better than you and God. So you and God together can defeat any problem. I've had problems in my life that I could not handle on my own, and God helped me through those times. So it's prayer and self-care for me
Yeah, I
to
think
find to
you
find
can,
your inner strength.
you can do a lot with strong beliefs and great health.
Right. Absolutely. 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 Strong beliefs and great health is amazing. There are a few little things that happen every now and then that you need the big man upstairs to help with too.
Yeah. Well, you're a grandfather. Your youngest child, your youngest son, is 19.
Right.
I think he's still in the house, but now you're at a point in life where, you got started pretty young, around age 20, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
And you never really had that like freedom, because you were a dad so young. And now you
Right.
kind of have that. How are you enjoying that? What are you doing with that free time? How's that going?
Man, I'm at a point in my life where I'm focusing on my shows, and I actually just started a job where I'm doing private civil processing on top of what I normally do at work. So I'm just staying busy, and then I exercise. I sit in the sauna. So it's all about staying strong mentally, physically, spiritually. I do a lot of church shows. I
Nice.
love small shows. I love a small show. I don't have any delusions of grandeur. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be rich. I just want to do a bunch of shows. And the small shows are more intimate anyway. And you can make a one on one connection with a kid or an adult. And you might say something at that moment that they really need to hear. And when that happens, it's not a coincidence. It's the big man upstairs. Some people say, oh, it's the universe. No, it's not the universe. It's God. So I'm going to give God the credit there.
Um, as a parent, now that you've fully experienced parenting almost,
Mhm.
is there anything that you did as a parent that might deviate from the norm or be unusual, different?
Oh man, we've all made mistakes. There's no such thing as a perfect parent, and but I mean, my parenting style, honestly, I mean, I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandpa was, he was born and he grew up in the Great Depression. He was actually born in 1920, so
Wow.
he was my father figure. So it was like I was learning from a man from another time period, because he literally was. If he was here today, he'd be 105 years old, but he died when he was 92, and he was tough, but he was also patient. So I can say that he was the most patient man I've ever met, and I can only hope that I had a little bit of that patience, and I believe I did. I tried to be fair. any parent, they say, are you ever ready to become a parent? No, you're not. It's like you could read all the books on parenting and you could, ask for advice, but you're not, you got to jump out in the deep end. It's just, it's like anything in life. It's like theory is great, but you got to go through it yourself. You got to jump in the deep end and just do it and do your best.
All right. So you said he taught you patience, the importance of patience. That sounds like great advice. Is there any bad advice that you've ever received from anybody over your life?
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, that's pretty good. Being put on the spot, I'm not sure exactly what I'd
How
say
about
to
like
that, but
the
yeah, there's all kinds of bad advice out there. I
people
mean,
have like health advice that you're like, ooh, no, don't do that. Any of those come out?
right. Honestly, I touched on it earlier, and sometimes people really do look for the easy way out. I kind of lean toward that, where I do believe in being kind to yourself. I'm kind to myself. I have positive self talk, but I also know when I'm kind of bullshitting myself. So it's a lot of people believe that we're overtraining, but honestly, it's really, really hard to overtrain. Like you could work out probably 14 hours a week and still not overtrain. So there's Olympic athletes that train over 25 hours a week and they don't overtrain. Now you could say they have the best of the best with massages and whatnot,
Yeah.
but a little 4 or 5 hours a week in the gym, you're not going to overtrain. So, go ahead and hit it hard.
Well, I think it's really funny that you use that phrase, no easy way out, because we have this inside joke. I teach this class in the morning to these guys, and every Friday, it's a fun workout. We do a lot of upper body pump stuff, kind of a bro workout. And every single Friday, I play that Rocky song. There's no
I
easy.
love that.
So like I'll sort of like set it up in a sentence and be like, guys, you got to take the hard way in because, and then I'll play the song. There's no easy way. And then you actually said the phrase, "There's no easy way."
I love that.
I'm
I
gonna
love it.
clip this and I'm gonna put it in class with the guys. They're gonna get a good kick out of that.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. And I was a huge Rocky fan as well. So
Yeah.
that's really, I could watch all the Rockies right now. And, I'll tell you this on a side note, I think the best Rocky was actually Rocky Five. Everybody always thinks it's Rocky Four or Rocky Two.
Yeah, I like
But
four.
man, to me, and I loved Drago and the Russian. I love that Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
But to me, the storytelling in Rocky Five, and it ends with a street fight
Yeah.
instead of in the ring. Like the storytelling in Rocky Five was just amazing. Like when you go back and watch Rocky Five with Tommy Gunn, Tommy Morrison.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's the best one because it was one of the really most emotional storytelling parts of Rocky. So
It was
that was
good.
my favorite.
Is there anything that you've changed your mind about in the last year or two or five?
Uh, let's see. Honestly, there's a time for everything. I used to really not believe in the low carb diet. However, I can't argue with my success. I had great success on a low carb diet just from being put into a calorie deficit. It's not something that I would want to do long term, but I used to rebel against a low carb diet. Like I felt like, oh, I need carbs. Your brain needs carbs, and they do.
Mhm.
And now, if here on my table, I have bananas and a watermelon. Like I love dark chocolate. I love raw honey. I love oranges, and all that is carbs. So,
Yeah.
but low
Well,
carb really does give you a pretty tremendous weight loss.
I was checking out the potential risks of low carb dieting. I've done it a lot over the years, and
Hmm.
I've always tested my testosterone, and I went low carb for like 3 years, something like that, when I was in my
Wow.
mid to late 20s. Really low
Yeah.
carb for a long time, but I was in New Orleans and I was drinking. I was putting toxic stuff in my body.
Right.
And what I learned was if you consume less than like 100 or 125 grams of carbohydrates a day over an extended period of time, you can get away with doing that, but it can
Right.
affect your testosterone production long term. Now, if you're super clean and you're super healthy and you're not putting any other toxic crap in your body, you can get
Right.
away with less carbs for longer. But
Right.
if you're drinking alcohol on the weekends and you're getting less than 100 carbs all week for a long period
Right.
of time, that can mess with your hormone production, testosterone
No doubt.
is all in
No
your.
doubt. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And it's not something that is made for long term. I don't think low carb is long term at all. It's very short, like probably three months. Like you know what I mean? Just do the low carb thing for 3 months and just train your butt off in the gym and the weight will come off of you. And it's a good way to start. Like when somebody, I'll just say the word fat. When somebody's fat,
Yeah.
go low carb for 3 months. Yeah, you're probably your testosterone might tank a little bit, but trust me, the fat is going to come off your waist. And everybody's talking about belly fat, belly fat. The way you get belly fat off is to go into a tremendous calorie deficit, which is great through low carb, and then just do a tremendous amount of work and walk those 10,000 steps every day and do high volume training. Make sure you sleep good. And
Which
that the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding that it happens. Weight just starts dropping off of you. So that's only for when people are fat. And I hate to use that word fat. I'm not trying to fat shame anybody because I was fat. But when somebody's fat, go ahead and do that for 3 months and get it over with, and then you can go back to eating good carbs because now I eat oranges, watermelon, dark chocolate, honey. It's like I enjoy my carbs, but they're healthy. Like I try not to have processed carbs, and I still will. So another thing I love about Bobby Maximus, the 90-10 diet. So if you eat good 90% of the time, you can have 10% wiggle room,
yeah.
which 10% is a lot for somebody like me or you, bigger guys. Our 10% is quite a bit of food. So, I mean, if I want to have pasta, I can.
Yeah. What's your perspective on alcohol and like the impact it has on our health, on our culture, our social lives, and
Right.
how have your thoughts about alcohol changed?
Right. So my dad was an alcoholic, but I never met my dad. He ran off. Never claimed me, never paid a penny child support. And it's a funny joke, but Les Brown says it. He says, "Man, I'm a bastard." He said, "But I'm a happy bastard." And he bust out laughing. And hey, I'm a happy bastard because my grandpa raised me, and I don't feel like I missed out anything on not having my dad. And he drank like a case of beer when he would play pool, so that's like 24 beers, like while he's playing pool. And that's just stories I heard about him because I never met him. So I never really wanted to drink that much, man. I might have some.
Was your grandfather your mom's dad or your dad's dad?
It's my mother's father, yeah. And so I never I never drank a lot. Like I'll have wine every now and then. I hate the taste of beer. I mean, that's almost like I need to turn in my man card to say that I don't drink beer. But dude, I don't like beer, dude. It's like it's
So your
terrible.
biceps,
It's
yeah.
like anybody who says they love it, man, they're lying. They drink it for the alcohol because O'Doul's, the non-alcoholic beer. Why aren't you drinking that 24/7 while you're at work? You know what I mean? It's like everybody lies. It's like the reason they drink beer is to get the alcohol in their system. It's like if it looks like pee, it tastes like pee, it's not that good. But 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 no, I'm not a beer fan, dude. I would drink Crown Royal like every now and then. I drink peach wine every now and then. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have a huge tolerance. So even 2 shots of NyQuil when I have a cold will knock me out, dude. And it's like alcohol never did nothing good for me. So, and I've arrested people, DUI, whatnot. I've seen people just destroy their lives with alcohol. It's not evil. It's just a substance, but it does a lot of damage and it's easy to get addicted to. I think if somebody's drinking every day, they're probably, I mean, I hate to sound judgmental, but they're probably on the road to be an alcoholic if they're not an alcoholic. It's like, if you're drinking something every single day, it's even if it's just 1 or 2 drinks, it's time to probably dial back.
Sometimes, they tell themselves stories, and when you say that, it reminds them, if you're doing it every day, might be
Right.
might be an addiction.
Right.
What inspires you? What motivates you? What's your fuel to stay going every day?
Man, I talk about Les Brown a lot. So I did Les Brown speaking program a couple years ago, and Les inspires me. So you can go on YouTube and watch Les Brown. He's 80 years old, and he's one of the best speakers in the world. He's a black gentleman. He's just wonderful. And he has the anti-nursing home plan, and that's my plan, dude. I want to be anti-nursing home. I want to do burpees, lunges. Like I don't want to fall when I get old. My grandpa fell and broke his back, man. I don't want to fall. I want to be able to. I've seen what they do in the nursing home. Like they abuse some of those old people, man. I'm gonna fight back. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna have. Hey, I'm gonna have pepper spray. If those people abuse me in the nursing home, I'm gonna fight back. But
Wow.
I'm also leading up to that, man. I'm doing jujitsu. I train with a sledgehammer. I jump rope. I just want to keep moving. So what inspires me is every day just to move. People don't move. Like they say they're depressed, but they just don't move. So just
Yeah.
walk 10,000 steps a
Yeah.
day. So really what inspires me is health and trying to stay out of the nursing home. And I'm a long way from it. Hopefully, I'm 46 years old, so hopefully I can live to be 100, and I can always take care of myself and wipe my own butt and fight back if those people try to abuse me in the nursing home. And that's a joke, but at the same time, I'm serious as hell. But but so that inspires me, and what really inspires me is to inspire other people. So I do that through my shows, and sometimes I just do street shows, and street shows are only 10 minutes, and you just try to catch their attention for 10 minutes. They can walk away anytime they want to, and that's fun. And I've done theater shows. I have a theater show coming up in Georgia in a couple months, and I've done school assemblies that are anti-bullying, and there you have a captive audience, so the kids want to be there and watch your show, and they're stuck with you for about 40 or 45 minutes, and they can't walk away like a street show. Like a street show, people can walk away, but in a school assembly, they want to be there. They're a captive audience.
Yeah, that
So
in class.
yeah, and they're getting out of class. It's like when the teacher rolls the television in the room, you're like, yes, everybody would celebrate when the TV comes in, because
Anything with
you're not going to have to study you know
You have this quote I really liked. It's achievement is great, but I'd rather be happy. Can you unpack that?
Right, man. And that was really a Tony Robbins thing too. I love Tony Robbins, but he talks about let's see, the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. So somebody they could achieve a lot in their life, like through scientific, methods, getting rich, accumulating money, getting awards, getting fame and fortune, getting pats on the back and all that. And they're still not happy. They'll still turn to alcohol. They'll still turn to other things that'll take them off course. So there's an art to being fulfilled. It's art of fulfillment. So you have to have both. You have to have achievement and fulfillment, because if you have achievement without fulfillment, that's empty, and the other is empty also. So, but honestly, for me, man, we just said that in our introductory conversation. Man, I'd rather be happy than to achieve something all the time. It's great to achieve things, but honestly, our mental space, just keeping yourself strong, keeping yourself happy, that's more important than any achievement. My biggest achievement is being a father and a grandfather, and then inspiring other people. And I've loved my law enforcement career. I've been able to help a lot of people, and I've been able to help a lot of people with my Strongman show. But don't we all just want to be happy at the end of the day?
Yeah. It sounds like being happy and fulfilled involves having great health and some way influencing or supporting other people.
It does, no doubt.
If you're not doing that, you might not be that happy. Just those two things are pretty huge.
Well said. Well said.
Um, with your health stuff and your training, do you use any like health tracking tools or any apps or like any assistance?
No, here's the funny thing. So I'm so old fashioned, buddy. I don't have an Apple Watch. You see no watch on my wrist. I don't count calories. I roughly count protein to make sure that I'm getting about a gram of protein per pound. But honestly, that was the cool thing about John Anderson's diet. You ain't got to count nothing. Like he doesn't even count the calories. Honestly, you're going through such a calorie deficit through that high volume weight training,
Yeah.
and at not having the carbs, that it don't matter. You ain't got to count nothing, man. Like you don't even have to use that mental space to count anything. Weight's just gonna drop off of you. But that, like I said, that's for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But no, man, I'm not high tech at all, man. I have, like, here's what I have. I have a notebook, and dude, I just write down my goals on paper and just stare at it, man. I'm so old fashioned. Like I just write down my goals, man. Hey, I just look at it, man. I try to will it into existence. I'm not all about the law of attraction like some people are, because they're like, oh, the universe is going to bring you the right thing. It's like, no, man, God's going to bring me the right thing. The universe is great. It was created by God. So I'm going to put God number one.
Wait,
And
you
then I'm
get it fresh in your head. You're reminding yourself the importance of it. You're emotionally infecting yourself with all that all the time. That's how you influence behavior.
right, man. But see, I like multicolors. I got a red notebook. I got a blue notebook. I got a purple notebook. I got different notebooks for different goals. And I've always done that, man. I just write it down on paper. Even this bubble girl that's coming, Anastasia, she's the best in the world. I wrote that on paper a long time ago that I wanted to perform with her. And now look what happened. It came true, man. It's coming true on the 23rd. So October 23rd at the Bedford County Sheriff's Office in Shelbyville, Tennessee, we're going to perform together. And I kind of willed that into existence. I just kind of wrote it on paper a long time ago, and and I made it happen, man.
Yeah, I have a coach I've been working with for about 3 years. He's big on writing on, he's about your age too.
Right,
I'm 41. See, guys are just a couple years older. But
right.
man, he's a military guy, and he's all about writing it down on paper. That's kind of his thing too. And
Man, I love it, man. I don't want to look at a computer screen. I
it
don't want to
it
look.
sometimes those the apps and whatever they get too much information, too complicated, too many variables.
Right,
But you just
right.
control it, keep it simple, and just focus on what's important. You don't get distracted by a bunch of BS.
Oh, another thing I really like that nobody likes anymore is going to failure. I like going to failure. Like
Oh,
a lot of people say keep a couple reps in the tank. Nah,
yeah,
man, I'm going to failure, man. It's
yeah.
like not on every single set, but I like going to failure. It's like I really enjoy it. I'm always going to do it. I'll do it for the rest of my life. It's
Yeah.
like even if they have new studies that come out that says Tim, you were wrong, I'm still going to train to failure just because I actually enjoy it because there's no easy way out like Rocky. So.
And it's just going to set your psychology up, to just go hard all the time, just push it.
I like it, man. And that there is danger in that. I will say that is like if somebody grinds themselves into the ground and goes to failure on every single set. I only go to failure on my top set. So I only go to failure, probably once per exercise. But I do believe in that, man. I've dialed my volume back. Here's the thing that Charles Poliquin said, and he was a Canadian strength coach. He's passed away, and I really loved him. And I started reading his stuff in Muscle Media, like Bill Phillips's Muscle magazine. It was called Muscle Media 2000 before the year 2000. I started reading it in 1995.
And he was a
Charles,
big low carb guy.
yeah, he was at times, yeah. So everything has a season, so but yeah, he was the same way. He would do low carbs to lose fat, but he also did believe in healthy carbs, berries, things of that nature. But he did eliminate grains, so any kind of grain, and he didn't even think rice was that important, But berries, pomegranates, watermelon, bananas. Like nobody got fat off eating watermelon and bananas. Nobody got fat doing that. So it's like nobody got fat eating baked potatoes. Everybody blames baked potatoes. No, they didn't get fat off that. They got fat off Pop Tarts, Snickers bars, that kind of thing, alcohol,
Some kind of processed
sugary
packaged
drinks.
sugar, yeah.
Hey, Starbucks is like two pieces of melted birthday cake melted down into coffee. So it spikes your insulin. So anytime you spike your insulin a tremendous amount, you turn that fat storage hormone on. So, nobody got fat off of fruit, man. Nobody got fat off fruit.
Yeah, you haven't mentioned any supplements. Do you do any supplements, protein?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anything that increases testosterone, I'll do it. So like zinc, I'm big on zinc. I'm big on magnesium.
Mm.
Um, as of now, the only things I'm taking right now is creatine, magnesium, and zinc. Let's see, man, that's really about it right now. I take some collagen powder and I mix it with beetroot juice. And I remember when beet juice used to taste terrible. You couldn't even put a little bit in a water jug, dude, because it would ruin the whole water jug. Now they have a really good one at Walmart, and I can't remember the name. Oh no, I do remember the name brand because look, here it is. I can't pronounce it, but this is the beetroot juice, man, and it's probably reversed. Okay, this is delicious. Okay, so I take like half of this out, and then I put like 3 scoops of protein in there, and then I put collagen powder in there, and I just shake it up, and I
Wow.
drink it, dude, and it's good for you. And as a male, it's good for us for our male health, if you know what I mean. So the beetroot juice is so good. The nitrates are so good for us. So,
For
man,
circulation.
yeah, circulation, man. So, really, beetroot juice, creatine, magnesium, zinc. I feel like I'm forgetting something,
What is
but
what kind of
supplement.
protein?
This is one cool thing that John Anderson said, and it's so true, and everybody needs to hear this. Supplements are really good at one thing, and that's taking your money.
Yeah, not great at that.
Because I've spent a lot of money on supplements that didn't matter.
Yeah. What's the protein powder that you like?
Man, I think my favorite is that Rise Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like I don't think they can say crunch because that's a trademark, but cinnamon toast. But it tastes like cinnamon toast crunch
Yeah.
cereal. And if you have that and you shake it up with coconut milk,
Yeah.
it's delicious, man. Like
I tried the Rise brand. It's actually too sweet for me. I mean, that stuff's got some taste to
it
it.
is, it is really sweet. It really is. But man, I've tried all kinds of. I remember when protein powder was terrible.
Yeah.
Like when I was 13 years old, I tried this stuff called Monster Mix.
Really?
And it was nasty. Like it that you
I
had to
remember
mix it with
eating,
orange juice, and it turned the orange juice green.
I remember eating these like Myoplex protein bars and these Myoplex powders. You remember these powders that they had
Right.
for a thing. And
Right.
back then we thought that like that protein may have been superior to like eating chicken or like, you had to eat that. Like I
Right.
I didn't know like I could just eat a whole bunch more meat and I'd be better than like
Right.
powdered stuff that does not taste good at all. And these old bars in my school bag that were cracked up, they tasted horrible, but like
Right.
protein was
And
crazy.
that was this supplement marketing. We believed it. We believed that we had to have that. And I do like Quest bars. I think Quest bars taste pretty good, and they're pretty low carb. And that when you're in a pinch, Quest bars can be good. But I'm not a big bar guy. Like I'll do it when I'm stuck and I want to eat some protein. I will do it.
I
But
just
honestly,
I just recently found these barbell protein bars at the store that have a
I tried one.
yeah, I like the taste of those. Those
They're delicious.
me lately.
They're delicious. So the two superfoods that I love that I want every day is grass-fed beef,
Mhm.
grass-fed ground beef and eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. So
They have almost all the vitamins and minerals in there. Like if you just have that and eat oranges, you've covered the basis.
yeah.
Like if you could live off grass-fed beef, eggs, and like oranges and just maybe carrots, like watermelon. It's like you could have the most basic diet in the whole world, and it's going to be great for you.
Well, if you just go like meat, eggs, chicken, like proteins and like fruit,
Right.
you can get pretty far with just proteins and fruit. It's almost
I
paid.
agree.
It's like that's usually pretty good. Toss in some vegetables if you like them.
Right. Hey, there's some people who they don't eat vegetables at all, and they're still super fit guys. They're great. The one guy, man, I might mispronounce his name. His name's Tanner. But he doesn't believe in any vegetables at all. So and he has a great physique, and he's drug free. He's not on testosterone or testosterone replacement therapy or anything. So it's all grass fed beef, eggs, oysters, that kind of thing.
Great. Uh,
Shrimp.
shrimp, any fish, tilapia's a good one. Um, Oh man, I'm gonna dig that story up. Oh, I remember I was playing Division 1 college soccer, and we had these two-a-days where like we would work out for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. We'd like jog 3 miles as a warm up. It was nuts. It wasn't healthy. It was completely overtrained. We did this for
Right.
like 2, 3 weeks just to see who wanted it. And the coach was watching who was going to push it. And if you drop, your whole teammates have to go again. It's that kind of environment. And I remember eating around this workout and like I remember eating like the biggest bowls of oatmeal I possibly could, drinking these really, really clean protein shakes, Opti, something was the name of it. And then I would take frozen tilapia out of the freezer and put it straight on the George Foreman grill, frozen, and it would kind of stick to the grill. I just fill the George Foreman with that, and I'd scrape it off, and I'd eat like the crusted tilapia and the protein shakes,
Wow.
tons of oatmeal, and probably
Wow.
juice, plates of fruit and vegetables, because we're working out so much. But after 2 weeks, because I was funneling all this food, all this healthy, good stuff, I gained like 2, 3 pounds or something, maybe 5 pounds. These other guys who were not eating the way I was eating, they actually all lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds. They just broke down. And I was like,
Right.
power of my dieting. And then my performance and just my my performance, my recovery versus theirs was always so much better. And that was always my edge as an athlete.
Right. Right. And when you do two a days, you definitely have to have carbs. So I'm not anti-carb at all. I love my carbs, but when you do two a days and you train a lot, and even I just started jujitsu again, you
Yeah.
have to have carbs. You can't go into jujitsu in ketosis. Like you will die. Like you will be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? It's like you will be tapped out, and even though they call it the gentle art, we know that it's not gentle when somebody actually goes in for the submission. When they're going for the kill, it's not the gentle art anymore. It's like you can call it the gentle art all you want. It's like, and I understand this technique, but there's nothing gentle about being choked. So, you know, or having an arm bar.
Yeah. All right, I have this section is called the rapid fire question. So let's see if you can come up with anything.
Right.
Yes, sort of quick. Um, any health or fitness myths that drive you crazy?
Man, just we already covered it. Just basically that you can get a lot of results with just a little bit of work. That's kind of bogus.
All right, if you had to do one exercise for the rest of your life, which one exercise would you do?
Man, that's good. I'd say farmer's walk.
Farmer's carry. So get the heaviest dumbbells you can, maybe even a bar, whatever,
Right.
trap
Right.
bar, and just how much you farmer carrying these days?
Man, I've done 300 per hand with no straps, and that's good for me because that's 600 pounds together, but with no strap to help me. So I was proud of that. There's people who've
How are
done
you
a lot
lifting
more.
that? Is
Oh,
that that's a trap bar? What is that?
those are actually two individual separate farmers walk implements, and I did that in a competition. I did that in a strongman competition, and I was happy with that because when I started training 12 weeks out, I could not do it. I was doing like 250 per hand. So now I've worked up to where I can do 300 per hand. But honestly, I can't do it right now today because I haven't been doing it that heavy. But I have some steel beams that are outside that are about 100 pounds, and I can do that for distance, like
Yeah.
doing a long farmer's walk. I think, man, going outside in the sunshine with no shirt and just shorts and getting that vitamin D and doing like farmer's walk that are not super heavy. It doesn't have to be heavy, like 100 pounds per hand. You do that and some walking lunges and push-ups. That's a great workout. And you just drink water and just soak up that sunshine.
I'm just picturing you walking down the street with two big beams in your hand. Your neighbors are like,
Yeah.
"Guy
Well,
again."
they know I'm crazy, man. They know, they already know. It's like, they're like, what is wrong with him? But they like me. So, but
They're crazy for not being out there.
right, right. I'll train the rest of my life as long as God will let me.
All right, that's your one exercise for the rest of your life. What is your most hated exercise all time?
Man, that's hard because there's nothing that I truly hate. I even like the burpee. Like everybody talks so bad about the burpee and how it's so like, you know, brutal. But to me, it's good because I can superset. I have a punching bag outside hanging from my tree. And sometimes I put on the gloves and I just do the punching bag and I superset burpees. Like I do about 10 burpees and I hit the punching bag back and forth.
Yeah.
And to me, it's great because you can get knocked down in a fight and a burpee is getting up. Everybody talks about the rear recovery, like the tactical recovery or the Turkish get up, like coming up from your back. That's a great thing, but you also have to get up from your front. So the burpee is the opposite of the rear tactical recovery. So I do both because like I told you, I'm the anti nursing home program, man.
Nice. When you're short on time and you got to eat healthy, maybe get your protein, what is your go-to healthy meal when you're short on time? You're in a pinch.
Uh, Greek yogurt.
Greek yogurt. Good one.
Yeah, Okios, I think that's how you pronounce it. The Okios Greek yogurt, it's delicious. It's so good. And you can put a little cinnamon or honey on it or put frozen blueberries in it or you can make it taste so good, man. It should be illegal, man. It should be against the law.
Well, I got this protein powder. It's from Flav City. Flav
Hmm.
City protein powder. You put this in your yogurt and you mix it up, and it mixes in completely, really good.
That's awesome.
And that yogurt's the protein powder's got some stevia, some whey, some collagen.
Hmm.
It's that in your yogurt, and it tastes, I mean, it could be cheesecake. Like it is amazing. You get a protein bomb. It's like dessert. I mean, it's
Now
ridiculous.
think about this, like you talked about earlier with the tilapia on the George Foreman griller. Think about all those dues you paid back in the days when you thought you had to eat like that, and now you can just. Now I take a walk, and I put ground beef in it with like beef broth, and then I just mix it up and I either put mustard and ketchup and cheese or the spaghetti sauce and garlic, and it's so delicious. And I don't have to scrape off the tilapia from the George Foreman griller, and and like we said, we can do the Greek yogurt that tastes delicious and put that protein powder that you're talking about. And it's so much better than the protein powder we started with. So
Yeah, exactly.
we're so lucky.
Have you ever read a book about health? Any books that influenced you? You mentioned that Bill Phillips book. That was a legendary one.
Right. I really loved Bill Phillips and Sean Phillips. I thought they had a great concept there with the Body for Life program. And I did it, it was great. And it's great right now. You can get it probably at a Goodwill store for like $5, but it's basically 3 weight workouts a week, 3 resistance training workouts a week, and then 3 sprint workouts a week that only take about 20 minutes. And then frequent meals, frequent clean meals. I mean, it's really easy, but everybody talks about, well, man, is it simple or is it easy? It's like it's easy, but it's not simple. It's like you have to put in the work. Like sprinting is hard because the fat people don't sprint. So if you get a hill sprint, like you keep on hill sprinting 3 days a week, fat's going to drop off of you. All you have to do is like jump rope and do hill sprints and sit in a sauna, and fat's just going to start dripping, man. Everybody makes it sound so hard, but it's really not hard. It's sprints activate fat burning. It's like, it's, but anyways, so back to the book. So I like Body for Life, and it was like a kindergartner could read it. Like it was so simple. Like
Yeah.
it was almost like you were the dumbest person in the world, and he was trying to explain it to you like you had no, and that was such a good concept to do that.
Yeah. That is time.
But my favorite book of all time is Dinosaur Training by Brooks Kubik.
Really?
And it's such a great book, man. It was it was written in 1996, and he was a lawyer from Louisville, Kentucky. And he talks about, and it really got me into the old time strongman type stuff too. And it was before I started training with Dennis, but it was about thick dumbbells, thick barbells, sandbags, lifting barrels, that kind of thing, and lifting in your yard, getting out of the gym that's all chrome and plants and stuff like that, like, and a health club type stuff. It's about training in the yard with like ropes and chains and, just heavy stuff. Farmer's walk, 20 rep squat, all that good stuff. The stuff that will make you grow. Like, when you do 20 rep squat, like, even though some people knock it, 20 rep squat to where your last couple reps are hard, man, that's cardio and strength, and it will make you grow. Like, there's no way out. No way out. No easy way out.
That's
But
right.
farmer's walk, 20 rep squat, all that stuff, man. I love Dinosaur Training. I actually lost my copy a long time ago, but I need to buy another one just to read it all again.
Dinosaur Train. What's your favorite hype song to work out to?
Man, fresh in my mind is no easy way out, but man, I love everything, man. It's so hard to put me on the spot because I love AC/DC. I will always love AC/DC. Shoot the Thrill. I love that song, but I love Kid Rock. I love rap, man. I like 90s rap, like Naughty by Nature. You wouldn't think a country boy like me likes 90s rap. Um,
The generation,
but
man.
the new rap is terrible, man. Like, it's the mumble rap. I can't stand it. But even the Ghetto Boys, they were from Houston, and my mentor Dennis Rogers was from Houston. So I listened to the Ghetto Boys, and they talked about the Fifth Ward, and I said that in front of Dennis, and he said, "What do you know about the Fifth Ward?" And because the Fifth Ward is the projects in Houston where people will just wind up dead. But anyway, I like the Ghetto Boys for rap. I like AC/DC. Man, I love everything, dude. I love corny one hit wonders from the 80s. Like, I love those corny 80s songs, like the number one pop music, like, just Tears for Fears. I like that kind of stuff. I like 70s music, man. I listen to country music. I was in a country music video when I was a little kid dancing. Um, I love disco. I love techno. I mean, I love everything. So you can't put me on the spot because, man, I just love all music. I really do. I love the blues. I love it all. And really, I listen to podcasts now. And I'm that dude also who can go in and have a workout with no music at all. Like, I like to just have silence and just stay up here in my own head.
Right. All right, we're about to wrap it up here. Before we go, where can people find you? Your Instagram's great. They can find
Right.
you on Instagram. Tell them about that and anywhere else that
Right.
they can find you.
Right. Strongmanstorytelling.com. So, yeah, I have a website, strongmanstorytelling.com. Scott Neary is the one who created my website, and I love Scott. He's also started as a street performer, but he actually made it in a few movies. He was in one of the Scary movies. Anyway, he's a great guy, wonderful guy. So, strongmanstorytelling.com. On TikTok, I have like 300,000 followers, and that happened during the pandemic. And I was like bending horseshoes and then giving them away as a giveaway. So I'd bend a horseshoe or a frying pan and then
Oh,
give it away. And the funny thing is I talked about it earlier on TikTok. When the kids just keep scrolling, they're like, "Oh, that doesn't excite me. Scroll. That doesn't excite me. Scroll." It's like I would wear a bright shirt like this, orange, red, or yellow, and I would go out in the sunshine, and I would hold up whatever it is. I would hold up the horseshoe and say, "Hey, TikTok, I'm going to bend this horseshoe and give it to one of you." So you have to tell them that immediately, like in the first second.
wow.
And you have the brightness of the sunshine and the brightness of the shirt, and they're like, "Maybe I'll listen to this guy because he's going to give me something." And then I was able to have a few go viral. I had one get 7 million views and one get 8 million views. And I started giving away. I was mailing it. I would get their parents' permission and mail it to their house all on my money. Like, I was just mailing all this stuff that I was bending and breaking, and I was able to get a pretty good following. So I had 300,000 followers on TikTok at Strongman Storytelling, and Strongman Storytelling on Instagram. And then all your listeners, hey, feel free to friend me on Facebook. It's my regular page. It's Tim Fox, and it's the only one that works for Bedford County Sheriff's Office in Shelbyville, Tennessee. So reach out to me. I'll help you any way I can. Like, and a lot of people are like, man, you should get paid for your advice, man. Sometimes I like to give free advice too. So, reach out to me.
Well, sometimes, like you said, when they pay attention.
Right. And they do. There's no doubt about that. Like, you can't just give away everything all the time. But so many people want to hoard all their information. It's like, man, I'm here to help people.
Nice. Well, Tim, it was an honor to have you here. It was an honor to have you talking with us, sharing all your info. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I really enjoyed this.
Thanks. We'll see you guys next time.